chest. So I stood up and left. It was just too humiliating. I didn't see either Jake or Gilbert again that summer.
Dang.
It was a relief when it was finally time to go back to school. I went through a dating craze when I went back to college and I rarely went home. I didn't want to see anyone from my past. It was probably all in town by now. Everybody probably knew that Jake was gay. I couldn't face everyone feeling sorry for me. So I dated as many boys as I could. I needed to prove to myself that men could fall in love with me. I needed to prove to myself that I didn't need Jake's love. So I ended up dating Wesley, and he became my boyfriend. Then one day, I was pregnant. There was no other place to go but home. I packed my bags and went home in tears.
Bro, set a screen, please.
Life was such a mess.
Set a screen, please.
Set
a screen, please!
I didn't want to be a father, just like I didn't want to become a mom. Not yet, anyway. I was too young. I wanted to get married to a great guy first and have a honeymoon. I wanted a career. I didn't want to be bogged down with a child. I wasn't ready. I don't know who called him, but suddenly, Jake was back home with me too. He knew I was going through a hard time. We both cried a lot together. I feel so alone, I told him. But Jake told me something that completely opened up my mind. I felt alone for a long time too. It's not easy being gay in this town. I know people are judging me. I had hoped for your support when I came out. Then the gravity of what I did suddenly dawned on me. I kept saying that Jake and I were best friends, but I left when he needed me most. It's okay, Sarah, he said. I knew it was a shock. He told me that he loved me. He told me that being gay wasn't going to change the fact that I would always be his best friend. Then he told me that having a baby was one of the best things that could happen to anyone. I don't want this baby, Jake, I replied. You can't mean that you want an abortion, Jake asked me with an angry voice. You can't do that. I sobbed and I nodded. I knew I could never do that. But what else were my options? You can do this. I'll be with you the whole time. You won't be alone, he said. This baby is going to be so loved by everyone. He begged me not to give the baby away. He reminded me that he grew up without parents. I nodded and agreed. I could be a mother to this baby if I wanted to. After a couple of weeks, I started to feel better with Jake by my side. He was my rock. I got my strength from him. Then one day, he told me some more news. He and Gilbert decided to get married. I must have cried buckets of tears that day. I was so happy for him. I knew I could never have Jake. Even if I had deserted him in the past, he was still there for me. I was happy that he was happy. Somehow, the thought of Jake and Gilbert stopped tormenting me. I loved them both very much, and I finally decided that there was no room for jealousy if I loved someone. Jake would always be my first love, and if I loved him enough, I would be happy for him too. They decided to get hitched a few months before I gave birth. Jake asked me to walk him down the aisle. His grandparents didn't approve of their marriage, but I was going to make sure that their wedding was going to be full of love and support. It felt like the most natural thing. I saw this happen proof of their marriage, but I was going to make sure that their wedding was going to be full of love and support. It felt like the most natural thing. I saw this happen in my head when I was just a child. I was wearing a lovely dress, and Jake wore a tuxedo. Gilbert was waiting for us. It broke my heart a little to let Jake go, but if I was going to lose him to someone, it was good that I was going to give him to a good person like Gilbert. They never even left for a honeymoon. My two boys stayed with me during the whole pregnancy. You're so lucky, Sarah, Gilbert said. As much as I want to be a father, I guess I'll just settle for being your baby's favorite uncle. Hell no, Jake cried. I'm gonna be this baby's favorite person. It warmed my heart to hear them that way. The baby wasn't here yet, and already they were becoming fathers. As usual, Gilbert agreed to give me anything that I wanted. It was great. It was like having two husbands that were super supportive. They took care of me. They held my hair back when I threw up. They rubbed lotion on my growing belly so I wouldn't get stretch marks. They even went out in the middle of the night when I wanted to eat some pickles. When I went into labor, I was brave enough to endure the pain. I was going to give this baby the best life it could ever have. So I gave birth to a beautiful baby girl. I waited to feel my motherly instincts kick in. I looked at my baby and wondered do the thing that I knew I had to do. When Jake and Gilbert arrived to visit, I saw them hold the baby in their arms. They looked like a perfect family. I'm finally giving you a wedding gift. Sorry it took so long, I told my boys. You're holding her in your arms. Then I handed Gilbert a stack of papers. It was for my baby's adoption. I was giving up my rights as a mother. I was giving them my baby. Of all the years I've known Jake, I've never seen him cry until that day. And I never really realized just how much I loved him. I loved all three of them. I was giving my baby to the best parents in the world.
What, bro?
What up, Kyle?
I'm just saying, what's up, Kyle? No, can you shoot?
Yes, boy. Snake this here, Kyle.
Okay, boy. Okay, boy. Okay, boy.
How old you is?
How old you is?
You know?
He's 12?
11. Finna turn 12.
Alone when someone rang the bell at my house. My parents were not at
Huh?
home, and I haven't invited anyone else. So
Boy, what is this man's jump shot? Hold on.
my friends never come unannounced to my house. It was 10 p.m., so it was dark and
What are you
quite
doing?
creepy.
Why you gonna sit there and just
I
leave
was
things?
extremely
shoot the ball.
curious to see who came to visit me late that night. Finally, I decided
He
to check
sucks.
who it was. I opened the door.
He sucks. Look at this jump shot.
Especially handsome man. I was
Pass me the
stunned.
ball.
I got you. I got you. I got you. Green up.
Serious friends that I have been waiting for all my life. In just 2 minutes, I came up with hundreds of theories of why he is here. Can you
Oh,
relate to the imagination of
he just broke you.
a single girl? Nonetheless, I wasn't able to say a word. I was overwhelmed by his tall figure and deep blue-eyed look. So we both.
I'm about to hit S2. I'm 97%.
You won't believe what happened next. Before I continue my story,
Stop jumping, bro.
I remind you to like and subscribe to my story animated to follow the rest of my adventures. My mysterious prince introduced himself. However, he came with
Bro, both of their jump shots suck.
planet. He said, "Sorry to bother you, but my tire blew out. Are you alone, or is there anyone that?"
Both of their jump shots is
I
bad.
was referring to my dad or another stronger figure.
Hold on, wait.
Here's when I got scared. Reality hit me, and I suddenly became aware that he can rob me, kidnap me, or even do something worse. And I am sure that he noticed the change.
I just said, wait.
I was as pale as a cloth. To calm me, he took a step back on the porch and decided to.
What you mean? I said it literally right when we. Maz is killing us in his.
Slammed the door in his face.
Do you not know what a divorce is?
So I decided
You
to
delayed.
to say. He began the story by explaining that
Well, my mic delayed.
me for months. However, he didn't want to scare me, so he
Prick.
came by as a random stranger.
Niggas is doo-doo.
Fainted when I heard this. Was he a maniac?
Brick.
A
Oh my
psychopath
gosh.
who followed me for a long time?
What?
No, he was my long-lost brother. What a turn of events. All my life, I believed that I was the only child. I never had anyone to share my secrets or even fight with. My parents were always spoiling me, as I was the. Anyhow, the story gets even more complicated. I finally decided to invite my brother inside. We were talking for 2 hours, but he didn't want to share the story of how we were related. At least not until my parents came home. I
He
could
finna
see the confusion on his face.
Nigga, I'm on my man. What you mean?
Had a brother. That's why he wanted to wait for my parents, or should I say, our parents. 2 cappuccinos later, my mom and my dad finally arrived at midnight. May I remind you that there was a stranger in our living room? It was obvious that my
Nigga, you the one who sold. I told you not to pass the ball, bone.
assumption was that he was my boyfriend. And oh my gosh, here we go.
You around me?
Father.
I won Rich already. You the one who ain't winning Rich. I won Rich already. Bum. I won Rich already. Bum. I won Rich already, girl. Binky. 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 Stupid little boy. Nigga, you a random too? What you mean?
I assumed that
Random.
didn't want me to trust them. I guess that my theory that they were young and
Nigga, you 11. You not in middle school either, bum.
but believe me, when I say I was far from the truth. My mom
Let me see.
was stuttering. Still, she
I need a big man, bro. Truck dog not on.
She began by telling mention my long-lost brother. When I asked her why she is skipping that part, she answered, "You will understand." Apparently, there was an earthquake on the day when I was born. Can you guess how this justifies my newly discovered brother? Well, neither could I. To be more specific, I was born in our local hospital. My mother was struggling for days before I decided to come out. Obviously, I was indecisive even in the womb. It's a characteristic of mine that explains many actions I have taken in my life. Anyway, I was born in June. On this particular day, 16 other babies were born in the same hospital. It's not many, but as I said, it's a small town. And I should be lucky that there weren't more babies at the moment. I know it sounds confusing, but you will understand when I finish the story. During the conversation, my mom told me, as you already know, all babies look alike. Can you imagine my shock at the moment? My own mother couldn't tell me apart. Did they switch me with another baby in the hospital? And does this explain my long-lost brother? Well, I wish it did, but the reality was far worse. When my mother gave birth to me, she held me in her hand. Like any other mother, she wanted to smell me, to hug me and hold me tight. My father was right beside her during the whole journey. They were thrilled that they had a daughter. All their lives they dreamed of having a girl. That's why I am as spoiled as I am. They truly gave me everything I ever wished for, from the fanciest clothes to the most expensive toys. But that's not what makes my parents special. They have always listened to me, dedicated their time and full attention to my concerns. And my mom and dad love me unconditionally, and they always will. So what could have happened on my birthday to make my mother so anxious? Is there anything that can stop me from loving them for a lifetime? Back to the story. My mother had to give me to the medical nurses. Then I was
What up?
together with the other babies. This is the usual hospital.
Bro, I promise every bro, oh my gosh, bro, this big man.
The important fact is that everyone survived this disaster. There were no victims in the accident. Well, except the sacrifice of the truth. I and the rest of the 16 babies were tangled
Got
together
what,
and
gosh?
transferred to a safe place. The issue is that the hospital didn't keep track
Well,
of
I'm about to hit
any
as2.
available DNA tests at the moment, so they decided to keep this as a secret. For years, the parents weren't aware of this issue. All that time, they believed that the hospital gave them their baby. More specifically, there were 10 female and 7
You is
You sound like you're 8.
exactly. Oh no, I'm gonna play spot up.
Have developed strong relationships
But
with
you're
their children. My parents didn't want to put me through such a stressful situation from a young age. After all, they loved me as I am their
Are
own.
you playing on your brother account?
I was not. As shocking as it sounds,
That's why you missing. You making that man account look bad.
10 mothers, both with
This Bud Light Seltzer lemonade is packed with lemonade.
Let me see.
yeah, they even have more flavor than my
Sparky, please.
We're talking about the big man, not me.
Break.
Me.
Wait,
New Bud Light Seltzer.
My mom and my dad burst into tears,
wait. The big man ate.
cursing my new brother. She started yelling and asking.
The big man ate.
She was 100%
Yeah.
convinced
Dang it! I was hoping the guard was 8.
leave them as complete strangers, but she was wrong. I didn't blame my parents, not even for a second. I was just shocked by this new information.
Alright, I'm just finna pick up.
Finding out that you have
Cause the big man don't know how to slip.
9 more fathers.
So I'm just pick
A
up.
whole bunch
Oh
of
yes, he do know how to slip.
Of course, I didn't sympathetically. I know that I can only have one mother and one father.
That boy be watching his brother too much.
People I've been with my whole life, or are they people from a different
Smart.
culture? Individuals with other values and daily habits. No matter the case,
What your brothers don't get? Your brother don't. Why are you not guarding me?
back to the story of my long lost brother.
Sparky.
I'm sure that you were questioning
I don't suck. Bet I suck. Bet.
met a girl at the same age as his sister
I can't. Okay.
he was living with. At this stage,
Dang it. It's okay.
and who is not.
Oh my goodness.
The girl
Give me the ball.
instantly felt a connection. They started talking and bonding.
Oh my God, bro. Like, what is your problem?
Date and in the same hospital as his sister.
Why?
Kind of a coincidence.
I just missed it. I just got on. What you mean?
And he came upon the hospital secret. Then he decided to face his parents with the truth.
You can use that
He asked them
On everything I just got on.
who was truly his relative. Even though this was a well-kept secret, his
And when I
parents
start greening, you gonna be like, he can shoot guard up. He can got shoot guard up.
my birth. It was at that
How How did he make that? Like,
Hey, cheater Cam, I'm gonna tell you Alex.
He didn't want to participate in this huge manipulation,
I'm gonna tell you,
so
Alex.
instead of keeping us in the dark, he was dedicated to uniting us all. Allegedly, I was the 8th girl baby on his list. He tracked us all and had this difficult
throw my alley then. Throw my alley then.
little to say that he was our hero.
Throw my alley.
Explain how
That's throw my alley. I'ma block it every time. I know how to block alleys. I got it from TikTok.
happiness, but ultimately I was
Guard your man, bro. This SS. Bro, this SS. So, bro.
How do you
my
guard
biological
three
parents.
guards
I
on
was 20 years old,
in
and I had no idea who I was, where I come from.
I ain't gotta guard you. That's him.
One day, I was doing
Yeah?
work in the living
Y'all
room.
both could guard me.
Someone knocked on the front door.
Nah, cause then you gonna throw an alley oop to the center.
He had a creepy smile on his face.
Oh my god, he really did that.
Hi, I'm Ryan.
Yeah, shoot it.
Oh, bet. Give it to me.
No, she's at her stupid job and she won't get back until midnight. I was just
Sparky, nigga. Stop playing with me, boy.
Sight, shoot it again.
I thought he was going
Alright.
But then he pulled out a wallet from his back pocket and gave me $100 bill. Money if I looked inside. So I let him in.
Exactly.
He sat on the couch and said, I know you don't remember me, but I know you.
I got take, so I ain't tripping. I got take. What you mean?
A few hours later, my sister Elena.
Yeah.
All my sisters hate me because
That's
of
only.
Sparky.
That's
I don't
only
care
way
about their stupid opinions. When I lived with Sophie on the couch, she screamed. He was dead.
Exactly.
To wake him up. How dumb is
So you gotta stop the takeover.
I don't even know which one you are. I don't know what gender are you, but
I'm a boy. Sparky.
you're on my team, bro. I'm the only person that don't click on this shit.
That's tough.
What you doing, Nana?
He feel like Tassino. No, don't feel like Tassino.
Now
You just sold. No cap.
You just sold.
Now what is behind my back? Now what is behind my back?
Bro,
Well, I gotta go out and drink some water.
throw a oop. I'ma block it.
No, I don't want to throw it.
Play up on your mans, bro. Play up on your mans. I got bored. I can't pass.
Now smell my book. Now smell my book.
Dot me up. Dot me up.
He is not drinking. Thanks.
Bro, like, what is this man doing? Hit me in the paint, bro. Hit me in the paint.
Easy boards.
Bro, my teammate,
Y'all want some
bro.
drink? Nana,
He missed.
now you want some drink?
Making a
Let's go.
Okay.
Right here. Paint. Right here.
You can say I'm gonna drink. Here you go.
Thank you.
You got in here. This is my
Peeky. Peeky.
My dad came back from the dead. Just then,
Yes, sir. Hey, I gotta add y'all. I gotta add y'all. Y'all boys cool.
No, I'm gonna tell my mom you drank all my drink.
you can't talk to your teacher like that.
Wait, are you a girl?
I already got earfuls from mom. Ugh, I thought you were better. Olivia stood up and left. Dad asked me where she was going, and I said, sure, I'll go with you.
It's funny how you not even good at that.
Dad scratched his head and asked me where
It's funny how this man was playing Pro Am and got player of the game.
she recognized
Let's go, 99%.
because of the shocking physical
Yes, sir. Big AS2. Big AS2. Big AS2. Big AS2.
Even hit AS2.
I'm about to.
You're not. You're not hitting it.
Nobody cares. Nobody cares.
I'm 99.2. I'm 99.2. I'm 99.2. I'm 99.2. Stop playing with him. He too. Stop playing with him. He too. Green bean hit too. Now 99.2. Stop playing with him. He too. Stop playing with him. He too. I'm 99.2. I'm 99.2. Stop playing with that man. He too. Stop playing with that man. He too. Hit his top. Hit his top. And then, ooh. Hit his yacht. Yeah, yeah. Ooh. Ooh. Finna hit AS2 off the block, yeah. Finna hit AS. Finna hit AS2. Finna hit AS2. Finna hit AS2.
Him or me? If he stays, I'm leaving. Dad couldn't take it anymore. He kicked the door fully open and walked One day, they got into a fight, and I couldn't study for a test. They got an A minus. I was so mad at him. I told him off, but he called me a brat and said music was so much more important than education. Yeah, I'm going to take my advice from a loser living in my basement. This was the first time that someone had put Brad in his place. I was so glad that we finally had a dad at home. But Isabel wasn't happy. No matter how many times she and Brad fought, she always defended him. She screamed at Dad, "Get out! You can't treat the father of my child like this!" Dad tried to explain, but she said, "He's better than you. At least Brad is here to watch the child grow up, unlike you." Even though he didn't say anything, Isabel clearly heard his pain. I could see the pain in his eyes. So I said, "Come on, Dad. You can stay in the attic instead." We made our way upstairs. Outside, I saw headlights coming into the driveway. Mom was home. I panicked. I said, "Hurry up, Dad. It's Tuesday. Henry would be staying overtime." Dad and I ran up the stairs just in time. I gave him some pillows and a blanket, some food and water, and a phone so he could text me if he needed anything. Dad asked, "How long do we need to stay here?" I didn't know, so I explained the situation to him. When we were told that Dad had passed away during deployment, Mom had taken it really hard. She was
I'm gonna sweat this game, boy.
fired from several jobs. Then she had to give up 4 of my sisters for adoption.
Soon as they hit 18, I'm closing my app on everything. I'm not ripping up off no loss.
I said, "Dad, Mom is dating someone. His name is Henry. You know, your best friend." Dad was shocked and said, "Oh God, how could they do that to me?" I told Dad to calm down because Sophia was sleeping downstairs. She was always a sleepyhead. She was my youngest sister,
Yeah.
and if she found out about all this,
Bro, I'm about to.
Dad said he understood.
But as soon as they hit 18, bro, I'm quitting. As soon as they hit 18, cause I'm about to rip up. I'm not ripping up on no loss or everything. Bro, I'm about to rip up. I'm not ripping up on no loss. So as soon as y'all hit 18, I'm quitting.
And Brad said, "Hey, what happened to your dad?" Luckily, Mom didn't understand what he was trying to say. She said, "He passed away years ago. Didn't Isabel tell you?" It kicked him under the table so he would stop talking. And he grinned at me,
Let's go.
teasing me. I wanted to punch him. Suddenly,
Bro, what are you taking? This man's selling my rip on purpose on everything he is.
they said,
On my soul, boy.
"Mother and I are getting married." Mom looked so excited. She was finally happy after so many years. But my sisters and I were looking at each other. I knew we were all thinking the same thing.
Yeah.
This wedding can't happen. After Mom and Henry left for work,
As soon as he hit 18, I'm closing my app on everything I'm
Isabel
closing.
and Olivia were still mad at him. So I had to break the news. He said, "What? This can't be happening."
Pass the ball, bro. Like, what are you doing?
The engagement.
I hate sell out SS1s, bro. I mean, AS1s, bro.
Separate from our first sister.
Hey, bro, give us ball, bro. Or let us win, bro.
Dad tried to explain to me.
Give us ball or let us win.
My sisters weren't.
Either one you want to do.
Olivia said, "It doesn't matter what happened to you. You can't come here after everything and pretend like nothing happened. You abandoned us, so we're abandoning you." Isabel and Olivia left me and my youngest sister Sophia in the attic. Of all my sisters, she
Everything, I'm finna close my album. Everything. As soon as they hit 18, I'm closing my album.
so she wouldn't flunk out.
On my mama.
Because I was helping her with school, she promised she wouldn't tell Mom and Henry about Dad. But she also said,
Yeah, keep greening. Cause next time you hit a 3, I'm closing my album.
"Once
On God.
Dad and I talked, and we decided to find dirt
Go ahead, keep greening.
like